Got Kansas State this weekend.
Yeah.
It's Farmageddon, or I think that's what it's called, right?
I guess so. Because we're
what
farmers.
What I don't get about this rivalry is I feel like it's kind of forced on us. I feel like we don't actually I don't have that much angst against Kansas State. Like I don't have their fans aren't that bad.
Right.
We've had there's a lot of games where it was really close game. Like I just rewatched the 2017, the last
Sequence.
5 minutes, 5 minutes of that game, and man, that was that.
You know what the word masochist means?
Yeah, that was
you like
bad.
to punish yourself. That's crazy.
It was worse than I remembered. If just Harpy remember to make you guys go back and think of what happened was. So there was a play where Cal Camp slid and they clearly hit us late hit and they picked up the flag, but it was 3rd and 18 and then makes a good play to Keem Butler and we keep going and then we ran the ball, they called timeout and Kansas State had 2 timeouts and we elected that Lazard and Hakeem been killing the corners all day. So we were just going to try to get the first down and game over. And we throw a pass, Hakeem Butler stops the clock. The announcer's just freaking out, why would you not just make them use your timeouts? And then the next play was the infamous Lazard just got absolutely murdered, and they throw a flag, and the guy picks it up again. So it was the 3rd or 4th picked up flag, and we lose.
Yeah, there was more contact on that play than, I don't know, some of the dates that I had back in the day. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, the guy had his arms all the way around him. I mean, I don't know. It was a tough, I mean, you talk about the history of Kansas State. I mean, I think it was Ryan Harklaw was talking about, I remember this because you were really little. We had back-to-back weeks where we had Texas beat. This is before we turned the corner on the Kearney. In the first half, lose. Had Kansas State beat the next week or vice versa and lose. So, you're talking about the rivalry. I think it's not one of those rivalries where you absolutely can't stand the team or the fans are obnoxious. It's just the fact that, they call Bill Snyder the vampire. We just could not beat him. I mean, he would just bleed you to death because he would get the ball and just run the clock out. Very Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, they're very, very similar to Iowa.
Yeah, so I mean that's why.
We lose in the same way every single time.
Same manner. And I could see that. I mean, I think Kleiman's the same way. I mean,
and the thing is, Skylar Thompson was their quarterback in 2017. Yeah, so he's been here for a long time,
and he's not 100%.
Yeah, he's still pretty good. He's pretty solid. It's just we know it's going to be. They are good at running the ball. They're very like Iowa. We've already said their special teams is pretty solid every time. It's Bill Snyder and Kirk Ferentz come from the same coaching tree, and they're still kind of the same morals and principles are still in the program. And it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a close game, and hopefully, when it comes to the margins and our special teams, hopefully it doesn't even come down to the margins. Hopefully, Breece Hall has a good day. Purdy shows up, and I know it. Yeah, it's just it won't think of last year. Just throw that out because COVID was really weird for them, and Skylar Thompson was out, and it was a really no crowd, and so when you think of this game, just throw out last year because it's gonna be nothing. I don't think it's gonna be anything like last year. I think it's gonna be a close game, and it's gonna be an entertaining game. It's a night game, and it's gonna be a fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun because, well, first of all, we get to watch our team play again. But I watched Kleiman's press conference today, and he was talking about special teams specifically, and he used a word that I haven't heard a coach use before. He talks about operational time, I believe is what he said, where they're talking about whether we're trying to block kicks, and he said teams have gotten so good from the snap till the kick that it's really hard to block punts. So they focus totally on returns, which obviously has worked, and he was talking about they emphasize handling the gunners really well, the guys that are coming down, and obviously it's worked because they've got multiple touchdowns returned this year, and he addressed last year too, and he said they could have easily not played, But he said, I wanted those guys that are not here anymore to have one more game. So I look back on this, and they got to play one more football game, and that's the reason they played it. They very easily could have backed out. But
last year, yeah.
Yeah, last year, right.
Yeah.
And they just sucked it up and played, and they just have kind of washed that a little bit. But, I haven't seen them play a ton this year, but, I know they gave Oklahoma everything they wanted. They, hung with Oklahoma State as well. But, they beat Southern Illinois by 8. I mean,
yeah.
It's not – so I think we're really going to learn a lot this weekend because, first of all, we haven't won there in, 17 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Almost your little brother's lifetime.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to learn, have we truly gotten back to the team that we were last October, or are we still trying to figure things out? And if we can come out and win this by comfortably, which I would define as 10 on the road at Kansas State, then I think we are. But if we go down there and lay an egg, then
it's going to be –
look out.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Really.
What I think where we really struggle is when it's third and long. Like, it's been the same story. Like, it's third and long. We know where the ball's going. It's going to Kohler.
Yeah.
And there's really been adjustments to that. It's either Kohler makes a really good play or Purdy makes – or it's like a broken play and we still get it somehow. But we need to just get to third and short so that when we get third and longs over and over and over again, we really struggle with that because, for whatever reason, like, it probably has something to do with our receivers. Our receivers we have talent receivers, but it might be a trust thing with Brock and the receivers because Brock just really relies on who he can trust. Kohler, he can trust because he's been there since he's been a freshman.
And I think he can trust Xavier now too.
Yeah,
Xavier's is playing big time right now. So
but it has to do with them locking down on Xavier and Kohler and who's the third option.
Right.
What's really been Kohler or Xavier, Kohler, like kind of the same, and then probably a check down to Brees is the third option, which I think like if Skates can emerge and
we've been saying, how long have we been saying that?
Some separation or and Skates, Milton has been non-existent, but we don't. Yeah, it's been a kind of a weird start. We had a disappointing loss against Iowa, and Baylor was a fiasco too.
Well, but if you take a step back though, Iowa's obviously pretty good.
Their defense.
Baylor is obviously pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's not like we lost to Utah State or somebody like that.
We didn't lose to UNI, which
it
was close.
We're getting used to that beginning right now. I mean, that's a discussion for next year. But I think we're gonna have, if we can stop them on the run. Their leading receiver is Deuce Vaughn.
Really? Yeah.
So
Deuce Vaughn, like
the
Pro
5'0"
Pro Football Focus was hyping him up all year, but he's pretty good. He looks very similar size as Darren Sproles,
right?
Like probably like a lighter version, obviously, because Darren Sproles was insane. He's one of the best running backs that Big 12's ever had.
Oh, right, yeah. And they've had a bunch of them. Those little guys that are fast. I mean, but if they're 5'0" running back is their leading receiver.
Yeah, but
is there anything with our D-backs? I mean, I think we got to have more guys in the box because our guys obviously should be able to handle their wide receivers 1-on-1, I would think. I mean, so
which we can stop the run. It's just like I think we've like what we used to have been. We really struggled. We would get to the third and long, but they would like have a big play third and long, and which I think that's kind of gone. Which we just need to because we have Will McDonald and really good defensive ends because we're used to like we just can't get to the quarterback, but now we can. If Will McDonald can, didn't have a sack last week against Kansas, which I mean that's like the only good thing Kansas did, I guess, was keep Will McDonald off the quarterback. But
yeah,
I think if we can get Will McDonald to the quarterback a couple times, but Skylar Thompson's so experienced.
Yeah. He's tough.
Two really experienced quarterbacks, and two quarterbacks have been there since like two Perry Ellis like quarterbacks have been there so long, and it's gonna be a good game. And I just hope I don't get my heart broken.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Skylar Thompson is not 100%. Campbell referred to him. One of the reasons he liked him so much is because he's so tough. So he's gutting it out right now. However, he has got 3 touchdown passes and 2 picks.
That's it.
So right. So he is not exactly lighting it up.
But
so I think this is my prediction. You can write it down.
All right.
We do not give up a special teams touchdown or something, or a special teams return that gets them in the red zone. So it flips the field on a special teams play. And we at least tie in time of possession. We win.
Okay.
Because how's Bill Snyder beat us? Time of possession is the key. He holds on the ball forever. Yep. And if they can hold on the ball against our defense, they deserve to win.
Yeah.
But our defense has got to step up and give the offense as many touches as we can. And I know our kids are not, remembering 17 years ago. Heck, most of them were 4 years old, so they could care less about the last time we won there. But they've got, they're trying to right the ship so they can have a fun October. So they know that. I mean, this is every game from this point on is the biggest game of the year.
Yeah,
I don't care who you're playing, Texas Tech or whatever. I mean,
but if we lose this one, it just deflates so much of what we want to do.
I'll feel bad for the kids if that happens and I think we just if that would happen, which I don't think it is. We're just the victim of the hype train. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, but I don't think it's going to. I really don't. So let's not even talk about it. I don't even
the
think
Baylor loss really kind of put us back to where we were before last year. It's just like we know what we're good at. We know we struggle at. It's just we need to get better at the margins and special teams. And what scares me the most is hopefully it's not windy in Kansas State because their kick returner is leading the nation. He's averaged 44 yards.
Kick returner?
Kick returner.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of weird with kick return. Mevis, just kick it out of the end zone. He can.
Yep.
We've already kicked more out of the end zone than last year combined. And if we do that and Brees shows up and, Brees and Brock.
Well, the other X factor, too, is, Campbell. I mean, he doesn't tell us anything. And I will guarantee you that we're going to find out that somebody's not playing 15 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah.
Ryan Harklaw is going to announce it on the sidelines. Somebody's out that nobody knows about because of something that happened in the bye week. I mean, it might not be anybody of any gravity, but J.R. Singleton, we saw him with a big brace on at Baylor. I mean, I would assume with the size of that brace that he's probably not playing again. And I thought he was playing really well. So I hope I'm wrong, but I just, Campbell, he doesn't tell, when you watch his press conference, man, it is the definition of vanilla.
Yeah.
And he's not going to give anything away. And Kleiman's the same way. I mean, I watch Kleiman's and he's a really good coach. He's a really good guy, man. He looks like they just, injected some younger blood into Bill Snyder and put him in front of the microphone. He's just so much like him. But he was talking about one of the things that I hope we get to this point is that they've got a lot of guys in their team that are legacies. Well, they've got a dad or a brother that played. We've had a few over the years, Lazard being probably one of the biggest ones, Patrick Neal.
The biggest.
Yeah, the biggest, right?
Lazard doesn't come to Iowa State if his dad didn't go to
Yeah.
Because he's going to go to Notre Dame or Oregon, but just because he grew up an Iowa State fan, came to Iowa State, and thank God.
I hope we get to that point, and that is a result of Bill Snyder being there as long as he was.
Because Kansas State was one of the worst programs ever.
So Weber, Weber, their wide receiver, his dad was a quarterback when I was in college at Kansas State, and his brother played wide receiver, I believe, 10 years ago at Kansas State. So he's got a brother and a dad that both played at Kansas State. And, some guys will not go to the same school as their dad or whatever because they want to create their own story. So that's obviously something that he wanted to go there and because he's so loyal to Kansas State. So
and we
verify that name. I want to make sure I'm right.
We're having high schoolers now that don't remember when Iowa State was bad, and I think we're finally going to, especially with this new recruiting class coming in this year, where it's one of the best. Probably one of the best we ever had, rankings wise.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to improve if we keep winning the games we should. And we've kind of gone away with the blacks ever since you complained. Like,
yeah, it was all my fault, right?
And I thought we were gonna maybe sprinkle in some black, but ever since it'd be interesting to see if we even wear them the rest of the year. Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
probably
can you see
game.
Texas? Yeah, so I was gonna say probably Texas maybe is when it would come.
What Campbell? I don't know if it's on purpose, but whenever we have like a winning streak against a team, like Texas Tech, we wear the same combo every time,
right, at
home and away, and I think it's kind of that where we just wear the combo of the year before if we want it, but yeah, it's the same combo from those. Yeah,
what is it? It's cardinal and white.
Cardinal and white, and
yeah,
cardinal pants too. So
yeah. So what else is going on? You want to talk about anything that's non-Iowa State? Haven't really. I mean, literally, I've been busy ever since you got here. I haven't really talked to you hardly all this week. What else has been going on?
One of the biggest recruits that Perm ever got is off our team already.
Oh yeah, I was talking about you personally. I wasn't talking about Iowa State stuff, but yeah, that's right. That's too bad about Xavier Foster. But you got to give TJ credit. I mean, he didn't hesitate to pull the trigger, and I guess. This dates back to June?
Last October.
Yeah. So, I mean, this has been
it's just
kind of in the background for a long time.
I'm glad it happened before the season started because things could get weird when it's like easy. Apparently has injuries problems, but
yeah,
obviously.
Well, he's going to go blow up somewhere. I mean, that's just the way it's going to happen. You don't think so?
If you have that on your record – and it's 2021, and you have any allegations or anything like that, and because I'm thinking of 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're in the cancel culture. We're all forgot about that. He's done, unless he, yeah.
But nothing. I mean, the other thing too, we have to keep in mind, he has not been charged with anything. He hasn't been arrested, so we got to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to him at some point and let the system do its thing.
Yeah,
but obviously there's something there. I think it's beyond this too. I mean, I think there was something else going on, and this was the linchpin to it.
Yeah. The way I looked at it, I was talking to Michael, was like just thinking of our sisters in college, and it's similar in age, just it just
right. No, that's the first place I went. I mean, I tell you what, I
don't care how good he is. Just
get him out of there. I remember when Pierre Pierce was going through his thing, and I know a mom had a daughter at Iowa City at that time,
really?
And she said, "Hey, this is the week before this came out." She said, "I'm going to go hang out with Pierre Pierce tonight," and her mom said, "You better not." And boy, did she call that one! That was crazy.
It's just, it's unfortunate but yeah, it's just he wasn't really a star.
Not yet. I think he had. I mean, I
potential, but
it's too bad. I mean, he kind of blew it a little bit, but but we got to move on. I mean, I think everybody's got to respect TJ for doing that,
I understand.
It's no brainer.
But
no brainer.
Just what is it with the Iowa State and Iowa recruits? It never works out. We can go dating back all the way to Adam Paleska. He was a prime recruit, didn't work at Iowa State. Do we just not recruit at Iowa? Marcus, all the good ones go to North Carolina, and there's some Iowa ones that, I mean, if you play there for 9 years, like Jordan Bohannon, you turn out to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just whatever reason, Iowa State can never get the good. Boo Powell was a walk-on.
Yeah.
But ended similarly what Xavier Foster did,
right.
Which he was not guilty.
Yeah, and then he ended up playing the D League.
Which he's still making money. Still making money overseas. Which
I mean, I think basketball is around the corner. I mean, and it'll be kind of fun if we can come out and just play hard and be in games. Because I think what frustrated everybody is that we didn't do it last year. We didn't play hard last year. We weren't fun to watch, and we've got to kind of go in the mindset that at minimum we want to be like Fred's first year possibly. And be in games and have a reason to turn on the game. I mean,
just have
the
fun.
End of the McDermott year, the end of the Perm year was the first time in my life that I changed the channel during a game.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just don't want that to happen anymore.
It's just sad to see where Steve came, what he got out of the cupboard into what he left Iowa State.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be the guy that follows Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a really tough situation to be in.
the
However,
guy-
his personality, I'm not sure. He's a good guy, good, solid human being. I'm not criticizing that, but I think he was just, I don't know. I mean, it's just hard to follow Fred. I mean, that's the bottom line.
They didn't make it easy on him because they had TJ, who the players wanted, Jamie wanted, but Stephen Leith, who is
not there anymore.
Cyclone Larry's Twitter pictures about how relevant that guy is now. But it just, if I think about that anymore, I'll be more mad because like I came in this podcast, it was a bad move by me. Rewatched the 2017 last 5 minutes. That really, gosh, that was worse than I remember. And they scored with like the time went out when they scored. Like if we stopped them there, we won.
Right.
Yeah, man.
So should we talk about the guest appearance at your little brother's game on Friday?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we should say that or not, but I mean, we're playing in a high school football game, and Mr. Campbell standing along the fence with his family watching a football game on Friday night. That was pretty cool.
And Gilbert,
yeah, he's not very far from home, obviously, but don't think we should mention possibly who he was looking at, but it was funny to watch him and Ryan Hartlaw and Dallas Clark all standing around during the game talking. I mean, I would have loved to have that mic'd up and hear what they were talking about, but it was so funny, looking at the kids on the field. When he shows up, the heads are turning. Mm-hmm. And so kids are obviously noticing that the Gilbert kids probably have seen him before, but our kids sure didn't. And I thought that was kind of fun. So now we get to cheer for the Wildcats on Friday night and cheer against them on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's been watching Will and Humboldt, which is where we're from, and watching them just absolutely, they're so good. And
I mean, this is high school football. We're not going to bore you guys talking about our little local team, but the funnest thing that is for them to watch them play is they truly like each other. I actually talked to Brady Ross today, former Hawkeye, friend of yours, friend of mine, great guy. Called me today as our color guy on our local thing, and he said, that's something that the layman people say, that really doesn't matter. He goes, it matters. I mean, if you truly can enjoy each other's successes, then that makes the year a little more fun, and you also can win the tight ones. And I think Brees Hall supposedly went down the line and gave everybody a 5 or whatever, hugged them when he got a touchdown to break some record. So I think the Iowa State team has that too. I think they truly do care about each other. You haven't seen anybody say anything about a cancer on the team or somebody that doesn't get along, and so that's a big part of the game that really is really hard to teach, and it's been fun to watch that too, and for Iowa State and our local team. So
we've had
I think Paul Rhodes has got a relative on the team we're playing tonight too,
or
Friday night, excuse me, by the way. But
and with the start nationally, and we've kind of gotten over the disappointment, I have kind of the start, and I just, for whatever reason, I'm just it's October, September didn't happen, and I think it's probably, if me being a player, having that expectations, for the first time ever in Iowa State, and then we kind of come back to earth. I think we can relax a little bit. Not every play is just oh man, we got a Brees Hall is a Heisman contender. Now it's just all right, we're back to where we used to be.
Right.
We're trying to prove everyone wrong, and
I think it's also perspective too. I mean, personally, on Twitter, I saw Nicholas Bassett. Shout out to him if anybody knows him that's listening to this. Tell him we're thinking about him because I know he's had a rough week too, and I know Wide Right and Andy Light has put out some stuff about him, and that gives you a lot of perspective. I mean, it's still a game. It's still for our entertainment, and that's why it's much easier to get over it now than it was when I was 16.
If our team just has half the fight that guy does,
no kidding,
we'll be
fine.
Because he just has surgery after every week, and he's just, his motivation is Iowa State based. He wants to come back to the game. And it's really cool how the teams kind of gather around him, wearing the T-shirts, walk into the Iowa game, and it's a good guy to rally behind.
Yeah, and I was at a high school volleyball game last night. It was a pink out, and they were helping a local teacher who's got breast cancer. So if our biggest problem is our punter, life is pretty good.
And Wide Right and Light's actually raising money for him. So if you go on Twitter and
for Nicholas, right?
Yeah, and scroll down. You can donate to his GoFundMe because.
Well, I've tried to figure out a way to get him some shirts. I can't find anybody that's got a connection. So anybody hits us up on Twitter, I will gladly send him some Sound the Siren stuff. But I have no way to figure out how to get him to where to send it.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah,
he's like when I was this summer because it was like I'd watch the Wide Red Nightlight like video game streams, and he's always on there.
Oh, really?
We've been we were in the same group chat, like chatting about the season. It was like April. So he has the passion for Iowa State football, and hopefully we can win it for him on Saturday. And
so this getting back to the game, I was listening to Kleiman's thing, and they're running the same defense we are.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about they're copying our defense, and the difference is that we're 4 years into it. So I'm just shocked at how many people have done it. And I wonder if since Gruden's got some time in his hands now, I wonder if he's out there analyzing it. Man, that was a hot mess too, boy.
Yeah, I just saw on Twitter, didn't really.
Good luck if we're digging up 10-year-old emails and you're going to get fired over it. This everybody is in there.
What's 10 years from now? Like,
oh, I don't know.
Because like my generation, we just we never your generation you're the first parents where social media was oh, we don't really know what this is. Like I had Twitter when I was in 8th grade. Yep. I don't think that's the best thing. It was Twitter was only a couple of years old, and you're just firing out things that,
I think it's what he said was offensive. Obviously, I saw an African American guy that I respect on social media say, if I'm that fragile that I can't handle, somebody taking a shot at me like that, then that's something along that point that he said it was offensive, but not to the point it was fireable. But I think the ironic thing is that the NFL went after him obviously for some stuff that he probably has some stuff that was really bad too. I'm not saying this wasn't bad, but stuff that was worse on some of the emails he turned over. However, pretty sure Snoop Dogg and Eminem are performing at halftime of the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do with those lyrics?
Yeah.
We're going to dig into those from 15, 20 years ago?
Which is weird because I think with the older generation, they used email text message.
Yeah.
And that's way more, I feel like it's way easier to track.
Oh, sure it is.
Than your phone. And it was 7 or 8 years ago. But I'm not defending him, but
I'm not either. But I'm just scared. I'm just scared for, John Gruden's got plenty of money. He's fine. I'm scared for the guy that's got 4 kids, that's 40 years old in a job where somebody decides to fire him over this, and now he's out looking for a job and trying to figure out a way to feed his family. Because that can happen.
Any president 20 years from now, it's oh, you said back in 8th grade this and this and this, or just little things like that. And
you called your teacher fat in 4th grade.
Or
you're done.
Yeah, TP night.
I can tell you when I was teaching, I can tell you the stuff that happened to me when I was teaching junior high. I mean, if I would have had a camera or video back then, I'd have some people that would probably have stuff to hold over the top of them too. I mean, it's too bad.
Absolutely tarnishes his legacy forever. He's just done unless he makes a comeback, which he doesn't really if you get burned to the ground like that, why even show your face again? Just go be rich somewhere.
Yeah. This isn't anywhere close to being over. I mean, you're going to have other people. This happen to other people too, and yet, I don't know. We don't want to go down the political road. I don't want to go down the other road. I mean, there's a lot of things that's really frustrating about it, but that's where we live in. I mean, if you have a social media account right now and you post something, you've got to know that if you post something controversial, that it could change your life permanently.
Only if you want to do something with your life, But if you
only if you want to do something with your life.
I'm saying if you want to be a top executive or head coach or, if you're just a cashier at Target, I don't think they're really
But teachers
going through 600,000 emails or whatever there was.
Yeah, I mean, we are dealing with a massive teacher shortage in Iowa, and I don't know why. and everybody points to the pay. Well, I hate to tell you, but my first teaching contract in 20 some odd years ago was $15,000. And so, and I couldn't wait to teach and coach back then.
I mean, wasn't gas like 40 cents back then?
No, it was not 40 cents back then.
Joking.
Yeah, but I mean, it was the hay I had to give my horse to ride my horse to school was,
Yeah.
but it's I know what that's a inflation thing. However, people are not for some reason. So my point being is that I hope we just don't start going after Joe Blow for this. The guy bringing your mail, the UPS guy, canceling these guys and sending stuff to their bosses to figure out a way to get them fired.
There's got to be like a boomerang effect. Like we're going one way, we just got to go back.
And I said that a long time ago. I thought that, the pendulum swings on this stuff back and forth. But, I think, like this whole vaccine mandate everybody's talking about, I think
Kyrie Irving
I can't believe it. I mean,
I doubt. I think he will eventually, but to like have that statement where like I'm gonna just turn down like $80 million because of this. But
yeah.
All right, more props to him. But like, man,
that's a firm stand.
I couldn't do that. Just
if somebody offers you $80 million, you'd get the shot.
Yeah, I might get 4 of them.
Right. What time is it? I can get more of them in today.
Yeah, it's a wild time, and it's been wild. Like COVID, like we're so numb to what's going on because we've been dealing with this for so long. Yeah. And now
speaking of COVID, we're not going to go down the COVID road, so nobody cancel us for this or YouTube or whoever. But just that an interesting fact, I give blood. I started giving blood in January as often as, whatever they let me do it, just so I can test my antibodies. That's one of the reasons I do it. I also have a fairly rare form that the blood center needs. And so I got it started in January again. I've given blood before, but I'm being consistent now. In January, I had 0 antibodies. I got COVID in March. And so then I gave blood again in April. And they told me my antibodies were off the charts. Then I gave blood again in July. I still had them. Got my first shot in August. I just gave blood last week, and I got my test back today. And my antibodies are 4 times what they were last April.
Really?
That's
interesting.
Crazy. Yeah. So I don't know if I've been exposed to it again recently or whatever. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people that know a lot more about this than me this week, and they're kind of puzzled too. But, it's just something that I'm an advocate for giving blood because it's an easy thing to do. It takes you 20 minutes, and people need it. And if you've ever had anybody in the hospital that needs blood, it's a simple, good act that you can do. You can feel good about yourself, and you have the benefit of knowing whether you are personally protected from this crazy thing right now or not. So,
score predictions. I'd love to talk about COVID for about 4 more hours.
I have no desire to talk about it anymore. I just thought the whole antibody thing was interesting.
No one really talks about it because it's whatever. But
so
you can't.
Because you can't.
You go on Instagram, you type in hashtag natural immunity you can't even hashtag it. It sends you to the CVC website.
One of the guys that I follow on Instagram, I've read his book, I listened to his podcast. He talked about it so much. Instagram deleted his account. They didn't suspend it. They deleted his account.
Yeah, it's wacky. Moving on. What's the score prediction?
Oh gosh, let's go.
I'm never right.
So I'm never right either. So why do we do this? 24-17.
24-17. I usually predict a butt kicking about every time, so I'm going to pick like 23-20. Iowa State kicks a field goal to win it.
Yeah, they gave up 24 points to Illinois. Southern Illinois. They gave up 17 to Nevada.
We kick a 45-yard field goal to win it.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd take that.
Off the crossbar. Calling it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was.
Make sure, hey guys, give us a review. Share this with your friends. Give us a 5-star review somewhere. Tell your friends about it on YouTube. If you've got somebody at home that's an Iowa State fan that just has something to watch it. Check out grandviewbeef.com. Good people, good food, and chewworks.com for your dog. I'm telling you, our dog still loves it. So give it a shout out. You can get a free koozie, and you can get some beef sticks from from Grandview Beef. If you use either one of them, both of them have the Sound the Sirens promo code, the STC for Sound the Sirens. And we still have plenty of shirts, plenty of those.
Yep.
Gold ones. We got tons of them.
About bankrupt us, but we gotta, because we were gonna do the stripe thing, but then the university decided not to do it. So,
well,
swing and a miss, but
here we are. That's the way you can't get ahead if you don't swing. Right?
Yep. So,
all right, man.
We got a post game. Me and Michael are gonna do a reaction right after the Kansas State game. So hopefully it's a positive one, and go Cyclones.
Yeah, go Cyclones.